Let's talk about feelings. Who am I to do that? My name is Sophia Wegele, and in this video, I will be talking about the difference between feeling and an emotion, which, in my opinion, is a distinction that is not being talked about and used enough. Because the sensations in your body of a feeling and an emotion, they feel the same. Yet an emotion and a feeling create very different results and have quite different purposes in your life. Let's dive right in. What is a feeling? A feeling is this neutral source of energy and information that comes up in the present moment for the present moment, and more particularly for you. So a feeling is about you and for you. An example of this is you go out of the house, you are about to close the door, and suddenly you feel fear. And the information of the feeling of fear is, I might have missed something. And this can also happen in when you're holding space for a group or when you're holding space for one person or your family, is the sensation of, what am I missing? And so you use, in my example, you use the feeling of fear to go back in the house, and you scan the, let's say, kitchen for what you missed, what you've almost forgotten. And there it is. Your car keys are lying on the table. So you grab your car keys and you go out of the door again. And what happens is that a feeling will be gone, meaning it's not out of your body or gone into space, but the intensity of the feeling will decrease, will go back to zero, and therefore making room for the next feeling to emerge. So, also as a space holder, fear, like in my example, is an amazing resource for scanning the space, scanning what is it that I'm not seeing, what am I missing, where does is my attention needed. And when the fear is making room for the next feeling to come, this can be, for example, joy. Joy that you you're seeing something that you've never seen before, and you can use it now, and that creates maybe connection or a possibility that is beneficial for all, in the case of space holding, for example. So, very simply spoken, a feeling takes less than 3 minutes. And a feeling is either of the four feelings in their pure form. So they are anger, sadness, fear, and joy. And they are here, a feeling is here for action, for taking action in your life right now. Whether an emotion, on the other hand, that it comes up and it's lingering, it's hanging around, usually more than 3 minutes, most of the time, even longer than that. It's maybe 10 minutes, 15, an hour, or a few days. Like this is the case for, families being members being angry at each other for days, and or neighbors, or in the case of space holding, when somebody in the space is sad and sulking for an hour, even into the next training session. um, yeah, so these are hints of an emotion. And emotion can also be mixed when it's not anger, sadness, fear, or joy in their pure form, but mixed together and creating a mixed form, a mush. And 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 let's look at this separately, because there are four different kinds of sources that an emotion can emerge from. And let's start with the mixed one, because I already said it. The mixed emotions mostly come from your gremlin, your own underworld, your own shadow. Yeah, we call it the gremlin in possibility management. And what the gremlin loves is to keep things the same. Keep things the same so you are safe, you are not dangerous, you're no threat to other people. So it does that by disempowering yourself. You are doing that because your gremlin is a part of you. So you mix your feelings together to disempower yourself and to not be showing up with what you want and what you want to create from the feelings in their pure form. That's why you mix them together, and thereby what comes out of you is not clear. You cannot source from the clear, pure resources. And also your gremlin can create an emotion with pure anger, sadness, fear, or joy, but it has this purpose of creating low drama, being the victim, and poor me would be sadness used for that, or blaming other people and pointing fingers, or even pushing yourself and mm, just being hard on yourself would be an example of anger. And another source is, and it's probably the most common or the most known of, is when an emotion comes from the past, and we call that an incomplete emotion. It's incomplete because at some point in your past, you were not able to express what you were feeling thoroughly or completely. So you suppressed it. This can be either because you didn't have the capacity, like the capability in your own little body as a child to express bigger emotion, like bigger feeling. Or this could also be because your caretakers, your parents, the people around you told you off from feeling. It was not allowed, it was not safe also, so you packaged it away. That's the incomplete emotion. And the incomplete emotion has the the healing for that is to go through an emotional healing process with a held space holder where you can let this old emotion from the past come up, and you follow it like the red thread back to the source, to this moment in the past where it originated. And then you can you can basically do different things, but the main thing is to feel what you have not been able to feel in the past, all the way up till now. And that's really a big healing, and also such a great chance to um, for all of you, also for the physical body, to let go and relax. And the third source of an emotion is when it comes from an outside authority figure. This can be either your parents, your school teachers, even religious mm, people around you, or relatives. And you notice them by, they often have voices attached, like you should do this, or I should already know this, or this is what we just have to do. Mm, but it doesn't have to be with a voice. It can, another way to detect if an emotion is from another person is when you have this sensation of "Mm, it's not really mine," or you can tell from another person it's not really what they would authentically feel. It's like their father always acts when it comes to this. Like I had an emotion, for example, taken over from my father, which was about traffic and driving in on the roads when there's a lot of traffic. He would get really, really angry at all the other drivers, and driving was no fun for him. And I had the same. As soon as I got my driving license and drove around with a car, every time I would feel so mad. And it was it wasn't until I took this emotion and gave it back to my father, also in a held space, and just said, "This is yours, this is not mine," that my system could relax. And suddenly I discovered that I actually loved driving, even when there's a lot of traffic. I could see other people, I could maybe wave at them, and yeah, so it was more close to who I am instead of who my father is in this situation. So that's also the healing offered in this emotion, is to discover who you really are. So the source from your gremlin, what you can do with that kind of emotion is to either unmix it, which is also a process. So you get your pure anger and your pure fear. When those two are mixed, you get them back. Or you learn to navigate your feeling in a way that you dismantle low drama. You dismantle your own disempowering stories where you disempower yourself to become a victim or to rescue other people. So, this is also, all of these are emotional healing processes. And that's what emotions are there for. They're here for healing. They're an emotion is knocking at your door, activated from the present moment, from some detail in a situation that you are experiencing right now. This emotion gets activated, but it does not mean that it has anything to do with the present moment. In fact, it has not. It comes from the past, or from other people, or from your own disempowerment. And it's being asked to healed. So that's great news, because it means that you are ready to take back more of who you are, and take back more of your power, take embody more of what you want in the world, and also means that you're ready to love more, to care more. And maybe it's not more, but what and who you actually are, and with all the care that you came into this world with. And I what I see is that emotions are simply a way to survive, to survive when all this care that you came into the world with was not met or not allowed, or it was actually dangerous. So you learn to survive, and it's a cause for celebration when an emotion comes up, to step more into living your life. Okay, so this is the difference between those two, feeling and emotion. I hope this was useful for you, and you can discover more of who you are with this distinction.